Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back once again to my F1 24 career mode journey. This is round 3 of season 2, and we are here in the Sunshine State of Florida for the Miami Grand Prix, and we are in SQ1, and Daniel Ricciardo is, well, doing Daniel Ricciardo things here, and holding us up. Stroll setting the pace in SQ1 so far. We've got another sprint weekend. If you haven't seen the last one from Suzuka, do be sure to check that one out before you see this one. So it's been a mixed first couple of races. We had a decent start in Australia with P2. Unfortunately, Suzuka wasn't so fortunate for us and ended in P5 with us just not really having the pace. But I'm now coming to Miami with the intention of putting that right. And SQ1, we don't actually do too bad a job, despite having Daniel Ricciardo's best efforts. So we've got through quite nicely there. And Daniel Ricciardo, in fact, doesn't even make it through. Far be it from me to suggest karma, but, well, I wasn't happy with being held up there. But we're now in SQ2. And we've had a better lap this time. A purple middle sector, leaving us to charge down this final straight. And I'm impressed at this circuit, because this circuit just goes round the Hard Rock Stadium. So it's a pretty impressive track, although I'm not too sure about the fake marina. I look at that and think, why do you have to be so extra? But anyway, SQ2, we've topped the timesheets with a 26.7. That's a pretty quick time on the medium, so I'm thinking we're going to have to do an early 26 to be competitive on the soft tyres, which is what we're doing now. The flag has gone out. Stroll is currently 6th, with Piastri, Hamilton and Sainz also in the bottom part of the top 10. I'm doing my lap right at the end, into the last corner. This has felt like a very reasonable lap. It is clouding over, but luckily we don't see any rain before the end of qualifying, and that was a very decent lap indeed. And it's given us pole for the sprint race, which we will confirm momentarily when we see the top 10. But that was a good lap. I do think maybe we could have found a 10th or 2 more, but still decent enough for pole. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you get pole by. Pole is pole.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will... Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Sunshine lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Gasly, Ocon, Tsunoda, Albon, Joe, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Théo Pourchaire, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track.
Okay, mate, I know it's tough in there, it's hot in that cockpit, but your tyres are even hotter, so you're going to have to work extra hard to keep them cool. It matters for performance.
I've been to Florida in the springtime. I can confirm to you on a first-hand account how hot it gets. But we are underway here in the Sunshine State, and it's a reasonable start, but I think Leclerc has just got the jump on us into turn one, and Leclerc diving down the inside and taking the lead. We're in P2, but it's still a Ferrari 1-2 off the start, so I'm not too disheartened by that. I'm actually quite happy to still be in P2 at the moment. I would like to take the lead off my teammate, but so far I'm happy to see us in a 1-2 position. Verstappen is in third, Alonso and Perez fourth and fifth as we head on to the long straight. I'm really not confident out that corner, and Max Verstappen is getting ready to shape up a look on me, but I'm going to drain the battery to try and prevent that from happening, and that has prevented that from happening. Verstappen having to stay back. Leclerc, Waters, but on the next lap Verstappen is having a look, no prevention here, and Verstappen is down the inside. He is alongside us using DRS to his disposal, but we're going to brake a bit later, go around the outside, hold it out. We've got the inside here, and Verstappen will have to yield, so no way through there for Max, but we might have a go at Leclerc when we get to the straight. Out of the left-hander, onto the straight. Is there a way to have a go at Leclerc? We have got DRS, we have got overtake, but I think for this particular straight we might be a tenth or two too far back, so I don't think it's going to quite happen here, but there's nothing wrong with having a little look at our teammate. Lap 3 then, and we're in this little complex. We're getting really close to Leclerc. We're basically on his rear, where we're going to have a look round the outside there. I've never seen that move pulled off before, and there's just no way of pulling it off, but it was worth a look. Leclerc had to go in tight, but we lost even further momentum. But now I've got the use of DRS. Are we able to get a bit closer? Answer, not particularly. But we're now ending the third lap and beginning the fourth lap. All over the back of our teammate. Are we going to have a look into one? Maybe if we get close enough, but I don't think we're getting close there. But one thing I have done is saved up my DRS a bit. Saved up my overtake, sorry. Just to have an attack on the main straight. And we've actually saved the battery quite nicely and harvested a bit of power. But my worry is, as we come round the left-hander here, that we won't be within a second of Leclerc, but we've pushed hard in that sector and made sure that we are, and we've got plenty of battery to use. But the problem is Max Verstappen is there too, and he is not going away. Alonso and Perez are dropping back a bit. Here we go then with our first real attack on Charles Leclerc, trying to go around the outside, but I think we were a little too deep there to make that one work. But now we're going to try the hairpin. Leclerc goes defensive. We brake a bit later. There is a yellow flag behind us. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. But we're now going to have a look at Charles Leclerc. We're going to have a go into one. We're getting closer and closer. This is going to have to be a dive. It is a dive down the inside. And we take the lead from Charles Leclerc. And as we do that, there is a red flag. So we made that move just in time. Someone was slowing down by the looks of it, and the hat of what I believe is Kevin Magnussen just piling into him, and it looked like RB piling into him as well. So someone slowed down, Magnussen went into him, and then another car went into that, and as a result we have the red flag. So a change over to soft tyres. 4-lap sprint to the end is what we have here. It's lights out and away we go again. And once again, Charles Leclerc with the jump into turn one, rendering everything I did a few moments ago to take the lead, all but redundant. And now we have it all to do again. So we are going to have to try and find our way past our teammate, and at the same time not allow Max Verstappen a way through. Fernando Alonso has taken the medium tyres That's surprising. He might find himself a sitting duck on the straight, especially given his tyre grip. His tyres aren't going to be as fast and grippy as the ones we've all got. Is Perez going to have a go? I don't know, but I'm having a go at Charles Leclerc, who goes defensive. I've switched to the outside. Again, no way through there. And time is going to run out fast because this is only a 10-lap sprint. So I'm going to try and find a way through here. And again, having a look round the outside there. But that's a move that just cannot work for all kinds of reasons. I'm trying to get into his slipstream here. Is there a way? I'm not entirely sure. And I'm going to save the ERS for the big straight. But Verstappen is now having a go down the inside. And I'm having to cover the Red Bull. And the problem is, now I'm fighting Max. I'm losing time to Charles. And there you have it. We are over a second behind. So Leclerc will have a free run down this straight. And Verstappen just says, thank you very much. I'll take the place from you. As we go hideously wide round the corner. But I've got overtake, I've got DRS, and I've got a Red Bull in my way that just doesn't seem to want to get out of it. But we finally get past Verstappen and up into second. But at this point, it's too little too late. Leclerc is already a couple of seconds ahead. And Verstappen on the last lap of this sprint, he's having one final go. Perez also having a go. Going down the inside. It's a Red Bull and Ferrari sandwich, and somehow I navigate my way through it. Perez is on the left, I'm on the right. Perez will have to yield, and surely he does, which he does. And Perez, though, taking opportunity there and gaining a position on his teammate. Alonso not dropping back at quite the rate I thought he would, but Charles Leclerc checked out. He has driven brilliantly in this Miami sprint race. And as we come to the last corner, there is no challenge. But Perez having a little cheeky look behind us. I'm going to shut that straight down. Charles Leclerc then is your winner of this Miami sprint race. But we get second. Maximum points for Ferrari in this sprint. So I suppose there's a positive. But if we hadn't had that red flag on lap 5, could we have kept Leclerc behind? I feel like we could have, but F is just F1 backwards. Leclerc wins, we're second, Perez third, then it's Verstappen and Alonso completing the top 5 with Norris, Russell and Stroll your final point scorers.
Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Never mind Sunshine State, the rain has arrived here in qualifying for this Miami Grand Prix. And we're currently on our lap here in Miami. It has started to dry up because the rain was coming down significantly heavier at the beginning of qualifying, and it started to lighten up. So everyone is on a lap now to try and get themselves out of Q1. And so far, it's looking like we're going to have a couple of shock exits as I complete my lap. The checkered flag is gone. So are they going to be able to improve? Answer, no. And I think Leclerc was even in the pits while he was in 17th. So we've gone fastest. Leclerc, for whatever reason, not going out, I don't think. And as a result, Perez and Leclerc are both out at Q1. That is a massive shock, and that is huge for the championship ramifications. And Théo Pourchaire in the Williams, well, congratulations to him. He's just made his first Q2, so he's going to be feeling pretty pleased with himself. At the end of Q2, well, Verstappen is setting the bar, and everyone is trying to do laps on soft tyres right at the end. I have followed suit. The checkered flag now waves. Pourchaire is 11th, so he will not progress to Q3. And that's a shame. He's done really well in this qualifying session. But are we going to progress? This is going to be tight as we come round the left and the right. What's it going to be? Have we made it through? Oh, only just. I did say it was going to be tight, and that was pretty tight for us. We have got to find more if we're going to have competitive pace in Q3. Also through for the first time is Zhou Guan Yu, so well done to him in the Alpine. And as the sun begins to set here in Miami on this late afternoon, we are pushing to set a decent lap in Q3. So far in the first sector, we're a little bit down on P6, which is Lance Stroll. So it's so far looking like a nightmare weekend for Ferrari, but we're going to do something about that. We're going to redeem it here as we head out of sector 2, and we're 3 tenths up on Stroll, so we have gains. Hopefully we can put this on the first couple of rows and use the race to take some decent points out of Charles Leclerc. That is the goal as we head out of the last corner. The left right now, bang, one corner, bang, round the other. What is the time we've set? What is it worth? It's worth P3, so not too disheartened by that. P3, still a very strong start for us in terms of the race, but we just weren't quick enough to get pole, unfortunately for us. But with Max Verstappen and Lando Norris on the front row, you can be guaranteed of one thing: this is going to be a good race.
Formula One has arrived in the Sunshine State for spectacular sunsets, gentle breezes, warm waters, and for what will be a fantastic race day here at the Miami International Autodrome. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sunshine, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Joe, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Théo Pourchaire, Sainz, Magnussen, Albon, Perez, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but...
It's race time here in Miami. We've got rain expected and we've got Lando Norris on the hard tyres. That could be an interesting strategy move. But we are underway and Max Verstappen does not get a good start, but Lando Norris does. Also, George Russell gets a great start. He's having a look up the inside, but he's run out of track there. And Verstappen sweeping round our outside, holding on to second. So it's Norris, Verstappen, us, your top three, with Russell and Piastri right behind us. But you get the feeling that Max Verstappen is going to be all over Lando Norris because his hard tyres are going to take longer to get up to temperature. And Max's are looking ready to go here down the straight. And look at this, Verstappen is all over him. I'm going to drain the battery to try and get involved in this battle myself. Is there any way of getting involved? I think Verstappen is just too far ahead of us at this stage. And he's going round the outside of Lando Norris. Is he going to make that work? Yes, he is. Max Verstappen into the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. Norris having to settle for second. And I want to get by quickly. I do not want to be held up by Lando and his hard tyres. So we're going to get into his slipstream very early on. We're going to have a go down this straight, using up all our battery, and that's going to make the overtake happen. Norris trying to defend, but we got up the inside first, and down the inside we go, making that overtake stick, and up into P2. So Norris started second, led on the first corner, and still couldn't lead at the end of the first lap. Verstappen leads, we're second, Norris third, Russell fourth, and Piastri in fifth. But I feel like Norris may be just a bit slow on this stint, and this is our chance to make gains. This is George Russell having a go at Lando Norris and wanting to get this move done as soon as possible so that he doesn't drop back from the leading pack. And Russell, I tell you what, he is a man on a mission in this race. And speaking of being on a mission, we're all over the back of Max Verstappen with Leclerc so far down. This is a chance for me to take some points off him and try and assert myself as number one within the team, side by side with Verstappen into the final corner. But we've gone way too deep there, and Verstappen holding on. We're trying to use momentum out of the final corner. We've got DRS here. Are we going to need to use overtake? Maybe a little bit. Verstappen covering into one. We've set the fastest lap. We're trying to go around the outside, but we're just not able to make that work. And Verstappen holding on, but we are applying the pressure to the Dutchman. I don't know what the Dutch is for. I'm coming to get you, but yeah, essentially that, as we hang on to the back of the Red Bull to try and find a way of displacing him. But Max already trying to set off down the road. It's lap 3 in Miami, and Russell is starting to pull away from Norris and Piastri. Are they going to end up battling each other, I wonder? I don't know, but we've got another go at Max Verstappen here, and we're going to try and make it round the outside. Verstappen is now round our outside. Who's this going to work out in favour for? We managed to take the lead off of Max Verstappen, and we now lead the Miami Grand Prix on lap 3 out of 29, so it's good to lead at the moment, but there is a long, long way to go. And Verstappen, we haven't been able to make the gap to him at all, and in fact Verstappen is now coming straight after us here on the long straight. Verstappen making that work. He had such momentum on us, and Verstappen retaking the lead on lap 4. And we're just not very quick in Sector 1. We're losing critical temps in Sector 1, like we have on previous games here. So, I don't know, it must be something that I'm personally doing wrong and need to work on at the circuit. But we're having a look again at Max Verstappen. No way through. I'm draining the battery for one again. No way through. And into lap 6, we're still applying the pressure, but just not able to get past and then get clear of Verstappen. We've left the McLarens for dead though. They're 4 seconds behind. Russell is just about clinging on to the fight, but it's going to take something dramatic happening to get him even more involved. In fact, even Russell now is dropping back. The 2 McLarens are having a fight, and Lance Stroll is getting involved as well in P5, so Stroll's pretty much involved here as we get ever closer and closer to the Red Bull. Are we going to be able to have a look? Oh, Verstappen's covering very well, and I'm trying to use the outside of the circuit, but Verstappen, it seems that no matter what we do, Max has us covered. We can apply the pressure as much as we want, but this is Max Verstappen we're talking about. He's going to be very difficult to displace. As we come onto the straight again, using DRS, I would use a little bit more battery, and that's what we're doing. Is there any way to get closer? Yes, there is. We're getting closer and closer, and I'm going to have a look, but Verstappen again just covers the inside. He's got this down to an art now, and Russell is losing quite a significant amount of time every lap now. So this just shows the league that me and Max are in at the moment, because we are just driving away from the competition here. And what was that? That wasn't a look, but that certainly destabilised Max Verstappen long enough, didn't it? Because now we're right on the back of him as we go down the straight. Draining the battery. Let's have a go. Verstappen covers the inside. No way through there. He's made it very clear we're not having the inside, but I'm placing my car in a way that is forcing him in sight, and Verstappen still able to stay ahead. This is great racing here at Miami, and Piastri's fighting Stroll for 5th, so Piastri's having a bit of fun there. But we're now having a go. Oof, that's not the place to do it. But again, it displaces Verstappen, but it also displaces us. But I'm using whatever I can of the battery to get through here. And we're getting ever closer and closer. And this time, am I going to have the inside? No. Verstappen making it clear that he's having it. But I've really gone forceful there. But I've also gone deep. but we've also got the move done and we're pitting in. So we do get the move done on the exit, but we're pitting in this lap and Verstappen follows us in. So into the box we come, change of tyres, off with the soft mediums, on with the hards. And there is a problem changing the tyre, and we've had a slow stop. And all that work we did to get past Max Verstappen, we are going to have to do it all over again. Cheers for that one, Ferrari. But anyway, back onto the track we go. And the thing is, we're right behind Max Verstappen, so hopefully we should be able to drive up to him again. It is starting to cloud over though, so I wonder, is that rain on the way? And we have actually caught Max Verstappen quite nicely. And we're going to have a go down the inside here. That's not usually an overtaking place. But we're able to stay side by side and the safety car comes out. Why have we got a safety car? Because there's a... what? That is one of the strangest spins I've ever seen on this game. It's Yuki Tsunoda just spinning one way, then spinning the other. And the other unfortunate thing that happened is under the safety car, Lando Norris was able to get a cheap pit stop. And as a result, moved up to second. Norris getting a cheap pit stop in Miami. Where have we heard this one before? But we're underway here in Miami and Lando Norris is trying to defend from us. He managed to get between myself and Max, and I'm a little gutted at that. We have got it all to do now. If it's not Ferrari mechanics, it's an unfortunate safety car messing up our race. But look at that. Look how far they've got ahead of us already in this opening sector after the safety car. So we have got to get on this as quickly as we can. And Verstappen has got... Well, this is deja vu from the first lap. Norris is all over Verstappen here. Next time round, surely Lando's going to have a go. Norris is having a go at taking the race lead. And Lando Norris leads here in Miami as we now attack Max Verstappen for P2. Still a few laps to go here and rain on the way. So what can we do about Verstappen? Are we going to be able to get past him quickly? Another look down the inside there. And there's a little bit of a love tap there as we're trying to force our way through. And this time it's worked. We move up into P2 ahead of Max Verstappen. And are we going to be able to get close and apply any pressure on Lando Norris? Well, our objective certainly thinks so, because we've been given the objective to pass him. But Norris on those medium tyres is just super quick at the moment, so overtaking him is going to be difficult. And now we're fighting Verstappen for second. I'm braking very late, way too late there. And Max just says, thank you very much. If that's the line you want to take, fine. But there's one thing I'm going to take, and that's P2. So Max Verstappen up into P2. We're back down to P3. And the battle is still between myself and Max. Lando Norris is just taking off and disappearing into the distance. So Norris, his strategy has really worked for him. Verstappen is trying to cover, but using what we have of our battery and our DRS, we're able to get ahead of Max Verstappen. And we just parked the car in front of him going into the corner. But going out in the corner, Verstappen has clearly got the better momentum. And we're side by side as we cross the start-finish line. We're going to go down the inside though, force the issue here. And Verstappen back down to third. We're up into second. But in terms of Lando Norris, he is checked out. He has gone, and I think he is looking pretty safe for this win. But Verstappen is coming straight back at us. He is not willing to give this one up, and George Russell's getting involved too. And once again, I've braked super late, way too late. So I'm off the track, and George Russell has collected me there as I'm trying to rejoin. And that is some front wing damage for me now. So that's going to make the last few laps particularly difficult as we dive down the inside of Verstappen again down that left-hander. That is not an overtaking place, but again, we've made it work. It's Lando Norris in first, George Russell in second, and Perez now gets past Verstappen, and Perez now gets past us, does he? No, he doesn't. We brake super late. I've hit George Russell there. That wasn't supposed to be an overtake, That was me forgetting my braking spot and clipping George Russell. And the big gainer out of all that is Sergio Perez moving into second place. I'm diving down the inside of Perez, but there's no way through there. And Russell, the big loser in that, because he was quite a way ahead, but I just decided to forget my braking spot there and nearly went straight on, but I clipped George Russell, exceeding track limits there just to try and stay with Perez. That's not an overtaking spot down there, but somehow again we're making these obscure overtaking opportunities work as we're now all over Perez. George Russell on our right here, trying to make up after he lost second. Oh, we've tagged him and we've pushed him in the wall there while I'm trying to get round Perez. And we brake super late once again, and for the third time in a row, we've just gone straight off. And Russell is the net gainer there. Perez losing out. He's now down to fourth, and I want P2 back. I'm really fighting this one. But I'll be honest, this is not my cleanest race. This is turning quite dirty. I need to watch myself here as we now head back at having a look at Russell for second. I'm going to go down the outside, try and brake a bit later, but Russell covering very nicely there. Is there a potential for a switchback? Answer, no. As we now have 6 laps still to go. I don't know how I'm going to hold this place, especially with having front wing damage. Perez is not done with me yet. Perez is making his way through. Piastri is there. So too is Max Verstappen. And from the back of the grid, Charles Leclerc. He's looking at joining this party. I've forced Verstappen wide. Piastri's gone through. Oscar Piastri now up to third. So it's Norris, Russell, Piastri, your top 3. But I want third back off of Piastri. And Red Bull just losing out through the absolute chaos that I am driving at this stage. I am literally driving with pure chaos, not really anything else. But as a result, the 2 Red Bulls have dropped to 5th and 6th, and we're now having a go at Oscar Piastri. No way through there, and finally I take a sensible pill and don't go for that overtake. But there's 5 laps to go, and I think those 3 are going to scamper off. I've got front wing damage. Perez is now coming back at me here. I'm trying to stop him, nearly putting him in the wall there. I need to stop with this chaos driving. Perez, I think, might just have me. I am going to try and go down the inside, but again, we're just not making the corner. And that's Perez through. Verstappen having a look, but not able to get through. And I think Piastri is now trying to have a go at Russell, as I'm having a go at Perez at the corner that you're not supposed to overtake at. And we do temporarily get it done, but Perez is just waiting in the wings. I've not got DRS, Perez has. And here comes Max Verstappen now, going for the pair of us. And guess who's right behind me? It's Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc thinking, you know what? I am the number 1 in this team, bitch. Meanwhile, the 2 Red Bulls are side by side. This is something you don't see every day. And Perez forcing the issue and staying in P4. I'm taking a very late dive on Max Verstappen to retake 5th. I want to be in the hunt for 4th with Perez here. Russell has dropped behind Piastri. So is Russell going to be able to get back past him? I don't know, but we're still tailing Sergio Perez here for P4. Joe, please keep it clean. We've got 4 laps to go. I'd rather bring back the car in one piece and not have a football match's worth in time of penalties. So, here we go. This is Verstappen and Leclerc. Both of them are having a look. Verstappen first. Leclerc is also there. Am I going to actually make the corner this time? Yes, I am. And we've actually made it ahead of Leclerc and Verstappen. So, that's good for now. But here we go. We're now attacking Sergio Perez to try and retake P4. The podium drivers have all checked out. They've had enough of all this. But Perez still there for the taking down the inside. Is that P4? Yes, it is. Perez trying the up and under there, but that's not going to work for him. And with 2 laps to go, we have made it into P4. So we're doing all right here. Is anyone going to have a go down the inside of 1? Not really. So we're all right there. And that, I believe, is Teo Pourchaire pulling over to retire from this race. Such a shame after a strong qualifying performance. Right, it's the last lap, we're in 4th. I've now gone deep and I'm trying to think, right, okay, let's be sensible. Let's give Perez the DRS, but the plan wasn't to allow Verstappen through, and the plan also wasn't for Leclerc to get alongside, so I've now got work to try and retake 4th. The plan was only to let Perez go and then try and get back. We've got a yellow flag here though, so I can't do anything. Both Red Bulls are past. I'm now fighting Charles Leclerc where there is no yellow flag, and I've got P6 back, but Verstappen driving smart there, moving into 4th. I'm diving down the inside of Perez to try and take 5th. Perez gets a good exit. This is the last time on the straight, and Perez, is he going to fall behind us here? We're side by side. Here comes Charles Leclerc. He's going to have a look here. No way through. Lando Norris wins. We've gone deep. Leclerc is through and Perez goes into us. Leclerc is through. Can we get back past Perez though? Perez has damage. He might be slow. Who got it in the end?
Pick up rubber and bring it home.
It was me in P6. Oh, dearie me, that's not a good result. But the way I was driving, I don't think I deserve any more than that, I'll be honest.
And here he comes. It's all go, go, go for Lando Norris as he takes the checker flag and wins.
Race win, fastest lap as well, so that extra point for them today, and what a masterful performance. They really showed a clean pair of heels to the rest of the opposition out there today. They had no answer for them.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, I can't say I deserved anything more than the result I got, really. And to be fair, on that final straight, I shouldn't have got cocky letting Perez through to go for DRS. In the end, I backed off too much. That let Verstappen and Leclerc through, so we could have had P4. But in the end, it was P6. And I think even then we were lucky to get back past Perez. But it's a win for Lando Norris, and it's a 1-2 for McLaren with Piastri second, Russell third, then Verstappen and Leclerc rounding out the top 5. This is how it affects things in the championship. Lando Norris now making himself known in the championship fight. He's only 5 points off Leclerc. Verstappen only 12 off, so it's still anybody's game at the front. But again, we lost points where we could have gained them, and I think if we'd have driven that race a bit better, we really could have gained a few more points there. But it is what it is. Let's just brush it off and move on to the next one. Russell is in 6th, and it's Alonso, Perez, Hamilton and Ocon completing the top 10. And we're leading the Constructors' Championship, but McLaren are making themselves known that they're interested in this fight. Thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. And until the next time, I've been Joe. Thank you for watching. TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Take care. See you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.